something more than gold. I got someone in my life. He captured my heart, he captured my soul.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're back with another video. Welcome to a young fire. Okay, we are the Christian Girlfriends Association. So guys, in today's video, we are giving you guys advice, right? Advice. So we have a lot of questions here where you guys ask for advice. So we're going to go through them, personal experience, personal knowledge. This is not codified. We are not the Bible. We are just sharing experiences. Okay, right?
Okay,
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So this person says, I am currently in a relationship with a beautiful lady that I've been wanting to be with for years. Wow. Okay. I'm struggling to stay faithful to her because I'm used to being very flirtatious.
Faithful.
Yes. So this person is struggling to be faithful to their partner whom they've desired to be with for so many years because they're such a flirtatious person. Like, you know, hi babe.
You can't say that you're struggling to stay faithful to someone because loyalty is a personal thing. You've decided to not be faithful.
Okay.
Do not ever make it. You're projecting now. You're making it look like it's a her thing. It's a you thing. Deal with yourself. Sort yourself out. Finish with the streets before you drag someone's daughter in your mess.
For sure.
You're not ready for anything serious yet.
But I think also, guys, it goes back to grace, right? We say we're all about grace and forgiveness and all of that. I think it's hard tipping out of habits. So I think you bluntly said it that you're not a disqualifier. Like, if a person tells you, like, they're honest with you, I have this problem. Okay. I'm not being deliberate. I've been used to flirting with a lot of people and stuff like that. But I really love you. And I'm honest, and they are genuine, but they need to tap out of this. They need you to help them tap out of it.
Help.
Then they must work on the fruit of the spirit, self-control. Oh God.
Yes.
And you are struggling to stay faithful. Yes, you must practice self-control. Exactly what Lev was saying. It's a you thing. It has nothing to do with your woman. It has everything to do with you and you having self-control. And you, I think at least he's acknowledged the fact. I think
there's a problem.
He's acknowledged
So
the
you can
fact that
deal
he's
with
quite
But
flirtatious.
if he wants to be in a serious relationship with this particular person, and I mean, he said he's been attracted to this person for years. If you want to pursue something serious with this individual, then work on yourself before actually starting the relationship, because you're going to damage her, first of all. And also, you're just going to ruin the relationship. If she finds out that you are having multiple partners while you're with her, do you think that's going to last?
And that's another thing. I don't think guys see flirting as cheating or infidelity, because he doesn't say I am cheating with. He's saying I'm flirtatious.
But he says, I think he acknowledges that it's wrong, and he acknowledges that it's cheating, because he says I'm struggling to be faithful.
Yes.
So he knows that it's not supposed to be like that. So, but without further ado, one tip or two or three or four or five. How can a person stop flirting with other people? How can you stay faithful?
Like Mpo said, fruit of the spirit. I think he really needs to work on himself, understand himself, and know what he wants.
Okay, so what would you say, Lebo?
Personally, I would like to believe that you can work on yourself and do better. I understand that banter sometimes it's a personality trait to be banterous. Like I'm a banter person. I like making jokes, right? But there's a point in time where I'm like, but this is disrespectful to my man. So what about his team?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Personally, I would say also look at what triggers your flirting and try avoid it. If getting more female numbers, contact details, or interacting with more females triggers you flirting, try withdraw. Come back when you're ready to be like not flirtatious.
Stay home.
What do you have to say? How can they stay away?
Let's go first. About this one.
And it's also a hard one for me. My advice would be, hi and guys. Oh yeah, like Siwa said, work on the fruits of the spirit. The first step was you acknowledging it and taking responsibility that is the habit that you're trying to break. So, yeah, my advice to you is work on the fruits of the spirit. Love yourself first. See how you've already acknowledged how this would hurt the other individual. And like the ladies already said, don't go for her if you're not ready to commit, and work on those things that you see as bad habits.
So you need to work on you before, more than anything. That's the most important thing. Work on yourself.
But do you guys think we ever fully become perfect? Like when do you reach a point where you say like I'm ready now?
No, you never reach that point. You keep like where we grow. So when you get to the next level, you need to grow
to another level.
So it's not a destination.
Yes.
It's not a destination. Yes, it never stops. Like you just keep evolving because at every level you have different
There's something
challenges.
new.
There's another devil.
Yes.
Wow.
There's another God. It's what keeps life exciting. The challenges are what keep life exciting, right?
Yes.
These things, the fact that you have to deal with infidelity is, I know it's hard to say it keeps life exciting, but it does though, because now you have to go and fix yourself to make sure you can stay with one person.
Yes.
But I think it lightens you to certain things that you need to tackle. Sort of like, for instance, with this whole thing, you know you have a problem with flirting. You know you have to fix that. If there wasn't that season, you wouldn't know what you need to fix.
And the beauty would be once he's worked on it and he can see the progress. One day he's gonna look back and say, and now I'm here. So you
take time out and work on yourself.
Yes.
And then, secondly, me and my boyfriend have been having sex. Are you married? Sex since. Let's say finish the question. So me and my boyfriend have been having sex since.
Let me read that question.
Yeah, please help with this, Chantel.
Me and my boyfriend have been having sex since the beginning of our relationship, and all of a sudden he no longer wants to have sex with me. I said,
oh, it's Baco.
I suspect that he is cheating, but he says that it's because he's fasting. Ow. He said he's fasting.
Trust issues. You are trust issues. Why are you insecure about yourself? Why are you guys having sex?
The duration of the fast is questionable, and also, hey, I've dealt with this challenge before. But it wasn't because of the fast. It's because he wanted a renewal of Christianity inside of him. He wanted that celibacy aspect of the relationship to work.
Oh, interesting.
It happened.
But I'm gonna get married in my brain.
You know what's the beauty that you speak about it? Yesterday I was watching Umi, Letwaba, and then they had another couple on. And the two, yes, I just forgot
my favorite.
The other people are.
Yes.
So they were speaking about celibacy during their dating life, transitioning into marriage, because they're high school sweethearts and they started off like having sex and then the lady decided first after she had her encounter with God, and she decided she sat with man and said, babes, and they were very honest about hey, it took me aback a little, and so it can happen.
Yeah, it's not comfortable. And I love what they also said in the video where they said there isn't perfect celibacy.
Yeah.
So you can't really be like, okay, this is purity. Because also you can be like, oh no, I'm not having sex, this is purity and stuff. But where is your heart?
Because purity is about hearts. Because they even touched hearts. They touched on topics such as masturbation. Did they actually find themselves doing that? And
I think it goes back to, let's say for instance, right? You say you're being pure, right? You need to understand what purity means, right? So you are not, remember, like as children of God, we're not religious, right? We do things, we're led by the Spirit, stuff like that. We're not doing this because, oh no, my flesh. Obviously, you can't, your flesh can't please God. But you're doing it understanding why. What are you trying to benefit from it? So yeah, I think it's very, very important that, like, I think this, context, because the person can just be like, oh no, I'm fasting. They need to sit you down properly and be like, hey, this is a season I'm in my life. I feel like God has spoken to me. God has said I can't do this. You can come along with me, but also if you're not coping well.
What I loved about it is that they were honest to each other, you know, because they spoke about staying with each other and being in one bed, and they've decided we're going to be celibate. And the guy was very honest, like, hey, I literally wake up with a boner, I literally sleep with a boner, but there's nothing I can do because this is a commitment that we've taken, you know.
So this was leading up to their marriage,
and this was leading up to them getting married. But they talk about how beautiful it was because they got to be intimate with one another. They were forced to talk with one another because they're not always in the bedroom. So that forced intimacy with them, they had to talk to each other.
So I think what else I take from you is communication. This guy must really break it down to his girl, let her understand where he is in life and how he's taking his spirituality and involve the girl if she's
what led to the decision.
There's a scripture that I don't know why it's popping up, and I'm not sure about the relevancy. I need assistance. But the scripture is Jesus learned obedience through what's that scripture saying? Or Jesus learned discipline through obedience. Or there's a scripture around it, I forgot it. But there's aspects of our lives that we need to realign in order for, I don't know, it's the next step.
Yes, you need to yield yourself to God. Like, if this person says they want you to fast, really, it shouldn't be a problem, because at the end of the day you want to support them as well, but also you shouldn't feel like you're being forced to do things, feeling uncomfortable. So communication is key, guys, right?
So the guy needs to actually, basically the guy just needs to communicate. Like why
also now it don't
while she's like, she only finds out now when she wants something. Bro, I'm fasting.
I don't know if there's someone watching this saying, are these not the Christian girls?
And I think also just find out why also, because I mean, this is a conversation. Obviously the guy has said I'm fasting, so be like, is it like long term, is it temporary? You know, like, try get understanding. Don't be quick to judge, and don't let negativity be the first thought. Oh no, I suspect it's a me thing, whatever. You know what, like, there's nothing wrong with you, girl. Probably it's not a game, okay?
I seem to be attracting guys who do not believe in family sit-ups, right? I'm very family orientated and grew up with strong family principles. However, the guy I'm currently with and some of my exes grew up in families where either the mom is divorced, separated, or a single parent. This makes them not really believe in the concept of family, marriage, and stability. Do you think it's worth my time to invest in a relationship? I think investing in anything is worth your time. It's going to teach you principles, it's going to teach you the experience you needed to go through, to learn what you needed together for the journey, because we're journeying here, right? So yeah, that's the question. Also, the family.
The fact that she keeps attracting them means there's something in her as well that is maybe not as
perfect
family, is family oriented as she thinks she is. So maybe somewhere in her family there's some cracks that she's not neglecting to pay attention to, but they are there.
And also, at what point in time did we think it's okay to call things broken families? I hate labeling and stigmatizations, guys. I'm sorry, I'm gonna mention this one, that because someone's parents are divorced, because someone's one parent is dead, or because some people's parents aren't married, does not necessarily affect the outcome. It's the same principle as that story between, I had a dad, he was an alcoholic, the one son became a millionaire, the other son became a drunk. Everyone is different and everyone grasps different principles from the situations they come from. Just because they come from does not mean that they will be. If I'm coming from a poor family, doesn't mean I'm going to end up poor.
But is she not talking like this because of the conversation they've
had?
Maybe the guy is saying, oh, me, not children.
I'm not family orientated,
you know.
And maybe
she knows what she wants.
And it could also stem from, as much as we believe in marriage and family, there's a lot of people out there that still don't believe in marriage. that don't believe in what's the point of getting married? Let's just do fat and sex and then we're good.
Mm.
For them, that's
even
family.
Christians.
Even
Yeah,
Christians.
there are people that actually even want to get married and not have kids. Childless marriage.
True.
At least they're getting married. Wabanaba that just don't believe in the institution of concept of marriage, and that's the foundation of a family. What then? Because she could be speaking from that stance. And I mean, if she says she keeps attracting, the first scripture that popped into my head was, "Don't be unequally yoked." Already, you can tell that the person you're with, we're not on the same level. So going forward, what are we working with? A house also, divided.
You also need to suss yourself out. Are you overbearing? Do you come on too strong? Hey, now I want to get married. Do you know what that does to men? Oh, she's desperate for marriage. I'm gonna cower out.
I must cower.
But
for
also,
me,
what if that's what she wants? What if I need to tell you, listen, I'm in it to win it. I'm not here to just.
I agree.
I'm here
for mean that you walk inside of things and you can't even find love because now you're out here with an
But are you saying
your intention is your intention? So if you are allowed to walk into it with your intentions clear, look, bro, I'm coming here because this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for marriage. Simple. Look, if I know I want the experience of love, but the experience of love can come when I'm married. I want marriage. Not everybody wants it. Yes, not everybody wants it to come the other way around. Some people don't mind finding it within love. You know what I mean? Like there's people who get arranged marriages.
So, like one thing about myself personally, I don't mind moving by
the speed of
next week we meet in the family. It works for me, guys. And that's because my intentions are clear.
That's what you want.
Because if you're not on the same page, then it's okay. But what if you meet a guy that's on the same page with you that says, "Oh yes, babes, I'm not here
6 weeks
to waste time. I've done it throughout my life. The reason why I want to go into a relationship is ultimately for marriage." So you date to marry. It's saying, because Baba and Matla will be like, okay, cool, I'm here, but I don't want anything serious. Then you both know. And then there are those that, I'm not here. Hey,
like me, I don't do both. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. So what do you want? Where are we headed? Don't waste my time. Don't stand in my way of finding true love.
Is it true love because he does want marriage or it wants marriage?
What I'm saying is
for me.
For you.
For me.
Okay,
because I can in a relationship with me.
No, but then we need to, but before we round up, we need to define what love is. But
because people want different things, and I think that's the beauty about having this conversation.
Yes.
Personally, I believe, your goal is to be with a man, make a partnership and have a family. That is your grounds. Some of us want to just experience human beings and fall in love in full. That experience first. You're saying some people want, the decision first. Like, we have different experiences.
That's the beauty about people.
Yeah, we're so different and we're so complex. At the end of it all, I think that you should reassess your yokeness. And then at the end of it all, I still say, figure out how you're coming on, because sometimes desperation, you can smell it from a mile away. I'm not calling you desperate, please don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that suss yourself out too, because the pressures of, how we are in church. When are you getting married? When are you getting married? I'm 30, where's my child? When am I getting married? You need to also suss yourself out. Sit yourself down and say, what is it exactly that I want? What is it that I can offer? Is this, so you will find the right person.
Why am I here?
And just to round it up, round it up. So personally, I think it's in an ideal world, it's easy for you to say, oh no, stay away from that person because they broken or not equally yoked. But at the end of the day, because I don't not in a bad way, we put ourselves on these pedestals where we say, okay, I'm the good person, I have a perfect idea of what I want. What if you are meant to break generational curses for that person? Also, you need to understand why you are in that season or that situation, because it's easy to be like, oh no, your family is broken, oh no, I'm not doing this, or whatever the case may be. But what if God wants you with that broken soul? Because I believe, yes, you are attracted those people, right? Sometimes because there's something you need to fix, but sometimes maybe because you're a healer, you need to heal that. You need to start a new era or a new chapter. So you need to discern where it is. Because remember, when we're in bad seasons, who lift us up? It's not the same people like us that are broken. It's people that are whole. Maybe in the eyes of God, God will send you to people and say, Lord, this is the person I want you to lift. This is the person where I want you to take them from one level to another. So I think context and how you feel. Also,
you see, I could do that with friendships. I don't think I'd be able to do that with relationships.
Definitely, man. I can do
personally for relationships and trying to break. Hey, Chita, Lena, I'm breaking.
We pray this prayer every day. God, use me. May I be a reflection. God's ornament or adornment. God, may I be your instrument. This is the instrument that you have got.
Instrument the relationship.
Let's get it.
Alright, so the next question. I recently had a church friendship breakup because of a guy. And this makes my life quite difficult for me, as me and this friend of mine keep seeing each other in church, and it has built animosity and bitterness, and I'm not able to concentrate on the things that I need to do when in church.
Tricky one.
Let me understand. So it's a friendship
Yes.
that broke up because of a guy. Oh, so
they go to the same church.
I suspect he's in the music department.
I don't like that.
Joking.
Sure.
Is the piano he's playing?
Oh no, it's the bassist. It's the bassist.
That's true. For me, this really boils down to, why are you at church? Salvation is personal. You are going to stand before God, and it's going to be you and God. No friendship, no boy, guy that broke you guys up. What are you going to be accountable for when you stand before God one day? Are you there to please your friends, your flesh? Why are you at church? What is your anchor? I think you need to just go back, introspect, and ask yourself that question: why are you at church? I don't know.
I think you need to heal from the breakup. Breakups are very difficult for anyone. Separating from an attachment, especially because a guy created a feud of some sort, whether it's romantic or whatever the case may have been. I think you need to heal, and I also have a sense and a feeling that you are maybe a bit younger than the normal mature person, because like once you grow, we've been through friendship breakups, so you walk in church, you can even greet that person with a smile. I would advise that you go in with kindness, you go in with all the fruits of the spirit. You will heal yourself eventually. Just greet both of them at all times. Be kind, remember to exercise grace and forgiveness. That's my piece.
Yes, I actually agree with you, because I think with all the episodes we've been emphasizing on grace, we've been speaking about forgiveness. Again, 77 times 7 a day.
Sure.
I always say that.
I think another thing would be talk it out if possible.
Yeah.
Have that clearance in the air, because sometimes I think it's quite difficult to greet a person whereby like you have things you want to say to them. So if this person that were genuinely your friend, you can be able to say, hey, this is how this whole thing made me feel. If you wanna, okay, not if you wanna, sometimes be the bigger person. Say sorry, I'm sorry, I overstepped, or I didn't like the fact that you overstepped. So that even when you're greeting a person, you're not sliding towards pretense. Because also it's malicious now when you're like, hey sister, and then behind you're like bitter inside. That's what I think.
I would merge the two. Maybe heal, as Levo says, because I think by the time you approach your friend or the ex, whatever the situation is, because you've healed and because you've taken time out, by the time you address them, you don't have a lot of anger. You're not filled with bitterness. It's okay to be angry, but just don't sin in that anger. Don't let that anger lead you to sin. You know what I mean? So I think healing is the first.
I think it also goes back to that scripture that in your anger, do not lay on your bed and be silent. This is God. God is so, I love him. God is like trying to inform us that it's very important that in your anger, because
he knows you get angry.
Imbalance. He knows. There's that healing. He's calling it. He's saying, lay on your bed and be silent. He's asking you and calling you out to be in a healing space. Heal yourself. Silence is so healing, therapeutic. Go on therapy. Something. Speak to someone. That's what I think that's
for me. A first step to healing would be actually just speaking to the people and about the hurt. You can sit down together and say, look, I know the role, and you need to be honest with yourself. What role did you play in the situation? And then you can, and don't be confrontational. Have a honest and open conversation, and then you'll heal. That's how you can get to healing. You discuss, look guys, I know what role I played, and this is how you've hurt me, and now I don't want us to continue walking with the same energy, walking around as
we
if
have the same goal.
We have the same goal. We want to be here for our purpose, Let's focus on God at the end of the day.
Whatever you do, don't leave church, okay?
And it's okay to be the bigger person.
Yes. Okie dokes. So the next person says, I don't think I belong in church anymore. Because every time I find myself in the church space rather, men asked me out, some of them who are married pastors, and some of them who are leaders in the church. Because of temptation, I have slept with one of the married men in church.
God forgives.
There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ.
Yes.
And this thing of pointing at yourself, you're reflecting on the thing you did, right? But it brings me back to that conversation I like having before. Why are we always pointing fingers at the women when they didn't step out of their marriage? I'm not condoning it. I just want us to have perspective, and also you need to identify that he's wrong. You're not always wrong. It's not okay to always be wrong. That's why women walk around with so much shame. Yes, you slept with a married man. Forgive yourself.
Yes.
God has forgiven you. Because God has
forgiven you.
God has forgiven you.
And I think it's gonna be difficult for you. Now you're saying goodbye to the whole church. We can't be a body without you.
Salvation is personal. What C was always preaching. So make sure that
it doesn't make you a hypocrite, the fact that you go to church. So forgive yourself enough to know that I'm serving God. Yes, I know my sin.
Understand your why.
And why? We like saying it to make ourselves feel better, but there's no sin greater than another. But I'm not saying it because it sounds good. I'm saying it because it's scriptural.
And also remember, you are allowed to snap those guys. You're allowed to curve them. Don't be afraid to say, brother, you're making me uncomfortable. Man of God, you're making pastor. I'm so sorry, but I don't feel comfortable talking about this with you. So you are allowed.
You need to nip it.
You are allowed to set boundaries with your pastors as well. You are allowed.
And say it nicely before they tell their lies. You have them.
Hey.
You need
Protect
to
yourself.
nip it.
Protect yourself. I'm turning 30 this year, and I feel like the church continues to pressure me to marry. While it's not even our decision to make, as it is the brothers who are not asking us out. I have prayed, fasted, and even sown seeds.
Miguel,
what can I do to make sure that I get married soon?
I think
now we're both
problem.
You remember episode 1?
Hell. Miguel. Abasheni.
It's not a you thing, girl. You're fine.
You're fine.
No,
you're fine.
She's not.
Because she's choosing to be wanting to get married.
She's not. First of all, why are you pressured? What's your why?
Yeah, that's the word.
What's your why? the church keeps pressuring me to marry. No. You too have the desire to marry. You need to look at yourself. Whatever it is that you see in the mirror will be exactly what everyone is seeing from you, ma'am. Look at yourself as a beautiful woman, desirable, deserving. You're looking at yourself in an opposite direction. That is not it. Just because you feel like, oh, everyone. No. Shut the world out. Listen. What is it about? What is it about marriage what do you want out of your life? Do you want a marriage that has love in it? Or do you want Abantu Bazotini has nothing to do with you. Heal whatever it is that you feel needs healing. Work on it. Therapy from it. Through it all, at the end of the day, you're a beautiful girl. You're deserving of marriage. You understand? And also stop thinking that that four walls that your church is in is the only place you can find a man. There are born again Christians everywhere.
Yeah, true.
Solidify your faith.
There are socials actually out there for people looking for marriage. Single socials.
Drop them in the
link. Drop them in the link. Dating. Speed dating for Christians. So guys,
I think she said she's turning 30.
No, and the church is
she's turning 30.
The beauty about the other side of 30 is that like you don't worry about such things. You don't worry about being pressured about marriage. There's something about turning 30 that just liberates you so much, especially as a woman. I speak as a woman and for women. Yay, man. You get to love yourself. You get to realize the stuff that you used to stress about. Because remember, you had the clock. 25, I need to get married. 25 clocks. 26 clocks. Hey, by 28, if you're not here, by 30, you'll be here, up to here. Because it's the beauty of realizing who you are. Like we said in our earlier episodes, enjoy your time in singlehood. Fellowship with God, learn yourself, learn what ticks you off, learn what makes you happy, take yourself out on dates, go shopping alone, enjoy your own company, because the danger of it is if you don't enjoy your own company and if you can't even sit in silence alone, how do you expect the next person to enjoy your company? So singlehood is so important, and we never really taught this growing up as young Christians in ministry, because marriage is preached to women who don't lobola themselves, who don't send out the letter to the uncles. Instead, we should be taught about enjoying your singlehood, understanding yourself, understanding God, understanding the Holy Spirit. Take that time out. And ladies and gentlemen, not everybody is called for marriage. That we don't speak about often. Others are called to singlehood and others are just called to marriage. So just know where, desire, you spoke about desire. Desire is very important. So God will fulfill the desires of your heart.
Scripture.
But also just know that we are not all called for marriage. And it's okay. So get to that point where you're okay within yourself and you're at peace with yourself. That I love who I am. I love where I'm at. I love where I am, the position that I'm in with God. You know what I mean?
It goes back to how you see self. How are you seeing self? And I think I've had a conversation with a lady that turned 40, right? This whole stigma around, life begins at 40. In the same breath, you'll see that there's a switch at 32. So what she realizes is that it really doesn't matter what they think, bruh.
Can't wait.
And that's the liberating aspect of aging, right? The more you age, the more you realize that it doesn't matter what you think. You're not putting bread on my table. You're not the one that I go home to, and you're like, who makes you happy? What makes you happy? Get those things done. Love self. Be the best self you can be for you.
And really, there is no reward for marriage,
guys.
There's no special corner where married people are going to be sitting. They're not going to get crowns, guys. So understand your why. Understand your why. We can't be doing things out of pressure, and next thing you're sitting with the abusive husband because you wanted to stand in front of the church and we were relating, and
now your motives,
you won't be there. You won't be there tomorrow.
And you can't live life in full circle without understanding why you're with this person. Now you're with this person because I just want to get married.
Because time was ticking. No. Don't do that.
Anyway, moving on.
So the next question is, I'm struggling to grow in my job. I've been doing my particular job for the last 3 years and I'm bored. I want to be a hot girl and slay. Please give me advice.
Listen to me.
Please repeat the question.
Beautiful girl. Do your nails. Put your makeup. I'm telling you.
Dress well.
Dress well.
You
Put
can-
on your heels.
Gorgeous girl. Take good care of
Okay, let me take it
yourselves.
again. I'm struggling to grow in my job. I've been doing my particular job for the last 3 years and I'm bored. I want to be a hot girl and slay. Please give me advice.
Oh, you want to be a slave queen?
So she doesn't want to work anymore.
Yeah, do you want to be an influencer? I'm not sure.
She's basically
Maybe she
saying-
wants to be.
What is she saying, Yvonne?
She's saying she's bored with her job, so she's not growing anymore. I think she feels like she's gotten to a point where she's stagnant.
Okay.
You know, where you get to a career where like you're in a mind
you're
and stuff
free.
like
This
that.
is not my vibe anymore.
Sure.
Send out your application.
And
But
but
now
now,
you're
now, the follow
She's
up,
got-
the last part.
So the last part she says, I want to be a hot girl and slay. Please give me advice.
Your job shouldn't stop you from slaying.
Sure. Because you can be a corporate hun, like and be all slayed
Even
up.
at entry level, girl.
Sure.
Ungaslay.
yeah.
Do your makeup. Put on your eyelashes.
And slay, mama. I think for the job part,
Apply.
apply, don't lose faith, take the steps, put in the work. Faith without works is dead. So make sure that you put in your effort,
Yeah.
plan what you want to do. Many other plans in a man's heart, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will prevail. So put into,
Yeah, absolutely.
write it down. Put your vision on paper so that those that may read it may be able to run with it, girl.
Sure.
So as soon as you are intentional about it, be intentional about your plans. You bored? Okay, so what do you want to do? If for now the only information we have is that you want to be hot and slay, maybe you are our next best influencer. Maybe work around it. Do your research. Watch YouTube videos. How are the people like advancing their careers in the social media industry? If that's the path that you want to take, if it's a different angle, go there. But just you've got the ball is on your court basically,
I'm
and
also-
you're able to like.
I'm also discerning something like you're a little bit, maybe you're watching something or someone and you're confused as to what is this person doing? Why are they always hot? I'm discerning it. I might be wrong, and I don't mean to project, but if in case someone needs to hear this, if you're looking at social media and you feel like, oh, okay, this person's so hot all the time, what are they even doing with their lives? There's a scripture that speaks of soul, setting your soul for the world. Come on, it's a scripture on people's bumpers all the time. You know that what good is it for you to
To lose your soul and gain the world.
You see scripture. So at the end of it all, you need to really reassess. And whatever it is that you may be consuming, like your Instagram, anything that you're consuming right now, reevaluate. Think of your life in 5 years. Okay, 5 years, I really want this. I want my master's. Maybe you'll get to a managerial position. I want my MBA. Then there's more to life than how we look on Instagram.
Sure.
There's more to life than there's so many things that so many people are doing and they're not posting them. People are crying every day. Some people are growing every day. Some people got new jobs every day. We're not always
People are
posting.
CEOs and they're not
They're not
posting those
posting.
things.
Sure.
Maybe your neighbor's a billionaire. You don't even know.
And perhaps standing your wine.
Yeah, because they are going with wearing Mr. Price every day.
And perhaps
Yeah,
that very
together.
person, right? That very person that they're looking at, whose life is looking so
Looks like,
glamorous and
yeah.
shiny and all of that is not even there.
Happy.
These things are easily hired.
Sure.
You can
I
hire
always say,
cars.
don't believe the gram.
Yeah,
Yes.
because people post what they
Selling your
want you
soul
to
for a
see.
man or anything
That's
along those
scripture.
lines that can miss. You don't need to sell your soul. You don't need to lose your soul. It's not selling. Sorry, lose your soul.
Sure. So I think just to wrap up that question, I think also be creative. I feel like one thing about God, He's given us freedom and choice every single day. We wake up with a new grace for each day. So take advantage of that. Always, every morning when I leave the house, I say, God, please help me carry this day. I cannot do it myself. There's challenges I may meet that may make me feel like I'm an incompetent lawyer, but it doesn't mean I'm incompetent. Because I think we all go through a boring season in our profession. It's not that you should leave. Sometimes it's be innovative. What is it? Like, I know I always start my day with coffee, besides when I'm fasting, right? So in the morning, I always get to the office 2 hours before everyone else. I make my coffee. During the 2 hours, like, I prepare myself, like, I zhuzh myself up, I do admin. By the time everyone comes, I'm this excited human being, because I've dealt with, like, my morning self, I've had quiet time, I've read a book and stuff like that. So find things that bring you joy within your job. Yes, because half the time we're in places where we once wished to be. We prayed for these things, right? So go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, why did I want this job? Remember why you started. Remember why you got there. There's something that Pastor Michael Todd has been saying. Here is holy. Let God find you where you are. Ask, sometimes you don't have strength. Nothing I say, they say, or the next person will say that will change your mind. But go to God and be like, God, I have no strength. Take me. Where should I go? And God will always answer, be it in your dreams, be it through other people, in books or whatever, but God will always have your back. Stay there, be creative, and pray about it.
Pray about it. Because I love what you said. Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead.
I love what you said, because I've gone through that. I've gone through I usually I only worked for 2 years at a company thing ever since I've started working, but where I'm at now, it's the longest. I think I'm going for 5 years now, and year 3, in fact, that's when I was like, okay, get sharp, because I was scared that, number one, I was going to get too comfortable, and I wasn't going to challenge myself, and I wasn't going to grow, and I'd keep applying for other jobs. How no call back, or you get we regret to inform you, but I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to go back to God and be like, like, why am I not getting a break? I've sent out over 1,000 applications. Why do you still want me here? And I keep finding joy. The people that I'm meeting, the new people that I'm meeting, people in the faith, people that are godly, people that I can fast with, people that we pray together. And then tell me, Mudima will say anywhere, you need to be here for a specific season. So understand your season. Ecclesiastes.
And there's a reason why
understand your season, understand your time, understand if God places you at where you are. Why am I here? And don't winter will come when it's time for winter. Enjoy the summer, enjoy the moment, and just also don't be frustrated. Another thing about being stuck or feeling bored is that you get so frustrated, you get so desperate that you even would go for things that you don't want. So that's why I said in the beginning, plan out what you want, write it down, talk to God about it, because God will always direct you into the path that you should go, and God will always align you with your purpose on earth. So sometimes we forget that we're here for a purpose, and not overstressing the purpose thing, but like, if you're walking with God daily, then you are walking within purpose. And we must remember there's phases and purposes: the good, good, there's perfect, good, and acceptable. So just also know where you are, but as long as you make sure that you're aligning yourself with the will of God, with where you are, and understand who you are in God, I think that's also important.
Second part, sorry, you said you want to slay. Get up, go buy clothes, go buy makeup, man. Put it in your budget.
You can slay everything.
Do your nails, baby girl. Put on your lashes, put on your makeup on a daily basis. It creates positive environments and energy for yourself. Believe you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Believe it, and the rest of us will find your joy. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Chantal, I disturbed you earlier.
I wanted to add on to what Yvonne was saying, that my chain of thought is gone. She mentioned something about remembering the reason you began. It's important to focus on your why. On your why. At the end of the day, it's what everybody has been saying, really, that your why is really important. And don't forget it now because you've seen A, B, C, D, E.
You have comfort.
Everything happens for a reason. It's an irritating saying, but it's the truth. It's the truth. You learn, you grow from those situations. and it's what everyone has already said. I'm just reiterating what everyone said. So basically, you've heard it already. Your why.
So
Focus
go get
on
it,
your
girl.
why.
Go slay, mama.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for all the questions. We enjoyed the session, and we love that we keep learning from you guys. As we share, we keep learning from you guys. We keep learning from each other. So do not forget to engage. Share with us your experiences. What would you have done if you were in that very same situation, or if you had to advise a person? What would you do? What would you say? And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment and tell your friends to tell their friends that there's a fire on the mountain. Are we running? Run. Bye, guys. Catch you in another video.